I was part of the pandemic Minecraft YouTube era, and I'm only a little bit ashamed of it. Minecraft YouTube indirectly gave me my music group, which is a group of people I'm still with and consider myself incredibly lucky to have met, and it gave us a platform to start creating on. Technoblade indirectly gave us 400,000 views and counting on one video, and people are still commenting on that video to this day. The analytics are literally a straight line. I spent 400 hours of my life making that video, and it probably wasn't worth it in the short term, but I've never regretted it, in large part because every time I check the channel, I still see more people discovering our tribute to Technoblade for the first time and leaving heartfelt comments. Shortly after he died, someone I know in real life showed me strong evidence that I'm connected to techno by at most 3 degrees of separation, and most likely only 1 degree of separation. That means I'd most likely directly know someone in real life who knew Technoblade. Obviously, that doesn't exactly make me personally closer to him than any random stranger on the internet, but it did make it especially strange to know that he was once here and isn't anymore. I think for those of us who were only parasocially connected to techno, the main thing his death did for us was remind us of the realness of being a human being, of living and dying, even while we spent far too much of our existence on the internet. Knowing that this real human being once walked on the same concrete as I did, drank water from the same reservoir, and got sent to the same funeral home that I might realistically get sent to one day. And I never would have known if not for the disembodied, mostly anonymous internet. It was weird, and it still is. I don't quite know how to explain it, and I generally don't quite know how to think about and feel grief in general. Ironically, it's easier to fully feel it when it's about a fictional character or someone I don't actually know. I cry when fictional characters die, and I cry about Techno's death, but I didn't cry when my great-grandfather died. When someone I actually know dies, I get a vague, undefined feeling that I can't really properly feel and understand. I didn't even call it grief until I recently talked to a friend who feels similarly and realized that that's probably just how grief presents for me. It's frankly intimidating to experience something like that, but feel like I'm not really experiencing it, and how am I supposed to unpack an emotion I can't feel? How am I supposed to think about it, talk about it, or really do anything other than move on to the next thing and act like nothing happened? The only thing I can really say I feel is this sort of sideways guilt that I'm not hurt enough or that I'm moving on too fast. When I experience fictional grief, though, I feel many more and clearer emotions that I can and do think about. I can talk about it with others without much issue, and I can continue to think about it and process it for a long time. And when it's parasocial grief for a real person, it leads me to think about reality in a way that I haven't been able to through events in my personal life. Techno has a video titled, "Why is the Midwest So Cold? Help?" in which he complains about living in freezing temperatures and ice for the first time, since he grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area and went to college in Iowa. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area and went to college in Illinois, so I had the exact same experience with the freezing temperatures and invisible ice making me slip. Whenever I talk to anyone about my experience with weather, I point to that video. I still do that now. Techno died while I was at college, so the comparison turned a bit morbid pretty soon, but I didn't really mind. In fact, interesting things might happen when you compare yourself to a dead man. After he spent time in the Midwest, Techno came back to the Bay Area and became a NEET. Technically, I did the same thing. Who's to say I won't die in a couple years' time too? I know certain people would miss me, but is that supposed to be comforting? I don't find it comforting to know that a lot of people miss Technoblade. What I do find comforting is that a lot of people like and appreciate Technoblade, and they can connect with each other because of him. Techno built a long-lasting community, and in some ways he took a community that was doomed to be short-lived and kept it breathing long past its lifespan. And what's the point of internet activity if not to build a connection that lasts? My music group that got its platform from the Dream SMP has survived long past its expiration date, and it's not a trivial task to keep it that way. I and everyone else in that group have changed because of our association with each other, and the same goes for every other online group I'm in that has survived for a year or longer. And I'm always looking to connect more people like that, and I'm definitely not doing enough of it. I've thought before about what would happen to my internet footprint if I suddenly died. I think my internet friends would wonder where I went. They'd talk to each other about it, and they'd remember me. But more importantly, they'd keep talking to each other long after I was gone, because even if I was one of the main reasons they started talking and kept talking in many cases, they've been friends for years now, so they'll keep talking without that initial external reason. And isn't that what the surviving remnants of Technoblade's community are made of? And so, comparing myself to a dead man made me realize something. Making people make connections and stick together long term isn't just a neat thing that I'd like to happen when I form groups and make projects like that. It's the entire point. It's the whole reason why we should use the internet. The anniversary of Techno's death announcement is coming up tomorrow. It's been 5 years since I formed my music group. It's been nearly 3 years since we made a world languages song cover to pay tribute to him. I wonder if Tommy Innit will post another video about mourning him this year. I think he will. I wonder how many more years it'll be before this community breaks apart, because I know it'll happen eventually, but it hasn't happened yet, and I don't think it'll happen soon. And if you're in a community that seems dead, stick around and try to talk to someone. You might be surprised.